Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another F1 Esports video. This is gonna be the last one of the year, round number 12 out of the 12 race championship. As you can see, we're heading out for our first Q1 run around Abu Dhabi. Has been the season finale for the past 3 years, and it is actually a great track for racing, but I'm not sure if that's what we want. Maybe we do want it. It depends on our qualifying position, and we're gonna find that out after the next few qualifying sessions. We're heading out for Q1 as per usual. We're gonna try and make it into Q2 on the single set of tires. However, I've not made it to Q3 once yet around Abu Dhabi. Not my strongest track in qualifying in history, but you know, the same used to be around Silverstone, and then I got pole last year all of a sudden. As you guys can see, 21 points ahead of Thomas Ronner, 23 points ahead of Ismail Fassi, so both of them have to win in order to win the championship. Anything less, with pole position and fast lap, it won't matter. They would be too far behind. Constructors is done and dusted after last round, and yeah, that means we can fully focus on the Drivers' Championship now. And that is nice, actually. I think we're the same in 2021, where we won the Constructors one race before the end. And yeah, that helps, just putting all the focus on the Drivers' Championship at that point. Don't have to keep in mind being careful or playing tactics with or against other teams. But yeah, on to our first lap in Q1 we go then. One of the most important ones of my life, probably. A little bit wide in turn 1, but we get it done. And then into sector 2 we go. Sector 1 is only one corner, but there's lots of different stuff you can do with ERS around this track. And yeah, you might see that later on in the session as well, that some people might go 2 tenths faster in the first sector, and then they suddenly lose a tenth in the middle and a tenth in the last, and that's just all ERS. And it's very, very hard to know which one is the fastest. Into the next chicane we go a little bit wide through the left-hander, but that's okay. We carried lots of speed, and we open the DRS once again into the last sector we're gonna go. Very fast left-hander, probably my favorite corner on this track. 52.158, half a 10 down on Alvaro Carreton, who is currently in P8. But there's still lots of people to come across the line, in this final sector is where the most corners are. So here's where you can really make the difference. Even if you have a setup that's not optimal for that last sector, you can make the difference there. So through the final corner we're gonna go up to the line, and it is gonna be a 121.573, and it's P10 at the moment, and that means we have to go out again. We were one of the last ones on track. We actually dropped to P11 right there in the end. So we have to go again, and we have to improve, because this P11 is not going to be enough. This lap time is not going to be enough to make it into Q2. Into turn 1 we go. Lots of speed carried. A little bit worse exit. And yeah, I think that sector 1 time is going to be near identical. We used a little bit more ERS perhaps, which is why we're at 110 up, or 100 up, sorry I should say. So yeah. We need to improve more. 300 up as we open the DRS, and that is good. If we can just keep gaining 100 every corner, then we are making it through. So into the next chicane we're gonna go. Brake as late as possible, and unfortunately we've clipped the inside curb, and that is a huge time loss. Somehow we come out of that chicane with the same delta as our first lap, but we could have gained so much more time there. That was like a 10th loss probably, maybe more. Into the next left hand we go, and again that's just not smooth. 200-300s down as we head into the hotel section, and at this point I knew I was down in P17 when I went into this corner. I knew I had to fully send it. You can see it, how much more I'm attacking relative to the rest of the lap, and that means we've gained 300s as we head into the final corner. I know I have to send it and be absolutely on the limit. We nail it, and we barely make it through P15. So close. in the end there. Yeah, that was not ideal. We have not gone out a single time in Q1, this wall here. And we almost went out in the most important qualifying session of my life. By 6/1000 of a second. Crazy. Thomas Gal, Brendan Lee, Lucas Blakely, Shanika Clay, and Tom Manley out in Q1 right there. And we're not even that far off the pace. You can see how close it is. 1/10 faster and we are in the top 3. That's how close it is. So yeah, we need to bring our A game to Q2. Teammate Freddie Rasmussen sets the fastest lap here at the start of Q2. This is our first new set of tires on the car. Our previous lap was done on used tires, and due to it being the softest compound available, yeah, the tire is crazy. So that used tire is absolutely useless. And we go P8 in that first new tire run. So once again, we're gonna have to go out again. We cannot stay in like we did in Qatar. And yeah, just leaving it as late as possible to get the maximum track evolution we can get, because you could see how close it was at the end of Q1. Through turn 1 we go, and that wasn't smooth. That wasn't smooth at all, but we still gained time to our delta. I remember in that turn 1, I think he had a pothole on my first attempt, which is unfortunate. So yeah, that means at least there's more time. Turn number 5 was not too great. Way too wide. And that means we've lost half a tenth, so that's no ideal. Couldn't quite get the front end to turn in, and that means we're chasing our lap time again, down to P9. And yeah, that basically confirms this is not going to be enough if we do not improve. And again, car just doesn't seem to grip up like it did on the first run. And yeah, it just confused me so much at the time. I knew 110 down into the final sector, it was full send from here on. Not leaving anything on the table, especially in this hotel section that's coming up. I'm gonna have to absolutely send it if I want to have any chance of making it into Q3 early on the power. And you can see that's on the limit. You can see the rear wants to step out. It was just on the limit. And again, you gain a tiny amount of time. I'm gonna have to properly send it in the final corner. 800s down. And I tried, but just not enough. And we're gonna be starting the F1 Esports World Championship title decider from P14 on the grid. That's the worst qualifying position we've had all year. Yeah, no ideal. But one advantage we have right here is that it is a title decider, and that means it's going to be chaos, especially around Abu Dhabi, where every year it's chaos in the last race. So yeah, that is to our advantage. Isma Fassi barely makes it through by 5/1000 of a second as well. Yeah, Thomas Horner got pole position, which gives him that extra point, of course. So that's no ideal, but yeah, all we have to do is finish P7 from P14 on the grid. We've made it further up in the past than just P7, and overtaking is not impossible around here. Dirty air is not too bad. So we can work from here. And I knew that going into this, you know, they are the ones that have to win. All we have to do is just finish P7. And yeah, that's why we're starting on the mediums today. We're going for a safe strategy rather than my so beloved a hard to medium strategy. Or back in the day, it would be medium to soft. So yeah, this is it. If it finishes like we start, we lose the championship by 5 points. So we have to go on the attack. It is as simple as that. But we have to use our brains as well and not take ourselves out early on in this race. Here we go then. 5 red lights for the F1 Esports World Championship decider. And away we go. We get a good start of the line relative to Danny Bresnay up ahead. We're straight away going to go down the inside, making it 3 wide into turn 1. I locked the rears a little bit. Lost a little bit of control of my car there. I just wanted to make sure to not cause an accident there and take myself out of the race straight away. Just a little bit too far rearwards with the brake bias, but into turn 5 we're going to go straight away down the inside of Joshi Dowu again. We're on the mediums. just like him. And it's Dani Beresnay ahead on the hard. So you need to try and make something work in this opening lap. Trying to get past at least a car, but there's a lot of medium runners around me. A lot of people going on the same strategy. We're going to go around the outside into chicane, just making sure to use the space available. With Brendan Lee, teammate of Thomas Ronar, behind us. So need to be cautious of that as well. So now we're straight away going to go in the attack again into the fast left-hander down the inside of Joshi Dowu. We move up to P14 again. Used a lot of our battery to get that one to stick. And now we're behind Joni Tormola in an Alpine sandwich. You saw me brake there so early because I was scared the pack was going to bunch up. And when the pack bunches up and they hit each other, you cannot slow down fast enough to avoid running into the back of them. And I was really cautious of that this entire race. Because Abu Dhabi is one of those tracks with these hard braking zones. And you need to be cautious of this happening, especially when you're down in P14. I think Constantina effect that it's called, and you could see it right there. I think Dani Beresnay lost his front wing there, or at least a piece of his front wing. And that's gonna set him back so far for the rest of this race, because there's 20 laps to go. At the end of this lap, repairing your wing takes an extra 5 seconds, and running without a front wing is gonna, or not without a front wing, but just getting minor damage, it's gonna cost you 1-2 tenths per lap around here. This is one of the best tracks actually to get front wing damage. I got front wing damage in PSGL and managed to still win the race. But nonetheless, it's just better to keep your front wing intact anyway.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
Lap 13. And we're gonna be coming into the box at the end of this one. You can see on the mini-map in the bottom left, one Merc, one Kick Sauber and one Alpine have boxed so far for a new set of tires, and we're going to do the same. We're going to be boxing behind Joni Tormola and Ulla Gilderim. You see me, I'm so far under the limit, just making sure we're not making any stupid mistakes. We have to be on it in this second stint, because we were down in P14 when
a decent time in the pits, and the team will be hoping they can get back into action as fast as possible so they don't lose too much time from this stop.
And that means no matter what happens, our goal is P7. We have to overtake 7 cars in this race. It is as simple as that. In this second stint, we have to overtake 7 cars, no matter what happens. We got 5 cars right ahead of us. So if we overtake every single one of them, that would be very lovely. And then, yeah, we need to see how the strategy unfolds and hope that it is better than what the hard medium runners are doing. So yeah, this outlap, critical. We try and undercut a few cars, but we're not expecting everyone to box straight away at the end of this lap. There might be one more medium runner out on track that's gonna swap to the hards. We're gonna undercut them anyway. And then the hard medium runners, they can box at the end of this lap, or the end of next one, or the end of after that, but it's not the fastest way. We really extended that first stint a lot together with all the people here in order to have a tire advantage at the end. And remember, this is the C3 tire we're on, which means the mediums are the C4 and the softs are the C5. And that means there's going to be a lot of tire wear, especially around Abu Dhabi, where you have so much traction zones, so much mechanical grip sections that, yeah, it's crucial for lap time to have a tire advantage. And that's what we're aiming for here. Obviously, the people who will go long in that first stint are going to have a massive advantage towards the end of the race. Yeah, you can see right there. We have undercut some people, and the most important one right ahead of us, Thomas Ronhart. We got Freddy around our outside. He is on the hards as well. I decided to let him go. You might be thinking, why? Why are you doing that? And that's because a one-lap tire advantage is huge. And if Freddy can win this race, that's enough for us already. That means we win the championship. And that's why we're letting Freddy go. He can straight away go on the attack. It's 3 wide up front. That quite obviously did not go without contact. And this gives us the opportunity to go on the attack. Freddy's going to go down the inside. We're going to go around the outside. Let's see if we can take advantage of this chaos erupting in front. We're gonna go down the inside, having a little look. Can't find our way quite through at the moment, but we're gonna go on the attack again. Around the outside into the hotel section. I tried to have a little look around the outside of the Alpine of Joni Tomola as well, but yeah, just had to use the space available to get past Ola Yildirim into the right-hander. And we got Joni Tomola on the same strategy, so we do need to get past him at some point. Barry Bormond on a set of the mediums. I was quite surprised they boxed that early, actually. Yeah. Because 15 laps on a set of the mediums is quite a long way. So let's see how it all unfolds. Both Barry and Thomas Renard on the mediums. And then we got ahead of Thomas the Alpine of Joshi Dobu on the hards. He boxed, I think, 1 or 2 laps earlier than us. And he's going to be in quite big trouble, I reckon, towards the end of this race with so many people on freshly tired behind him. We go down the inside of Joni Tomola. He's on the same strategy as us, so it's crucial we get past at some point. And now we're behind Barry Bormond. This is actually a good position we're in, because we are behind 2 cars that are on a new set of mediums. They're obviously going to be faster now, but not forever. And they're going to be carrying us along for the next few laps. They're not going to be able to break the DRS because their tire advantage is not that big. But in the corners they will slightly drive away, which gives us less dirty air, and then we're still getting the benefit of the slipstream and the DRS on the straights. And that's what's helping us massively here for at least the next 3, 4, 5 laps. You can see another 2 people boxing, a McLaren and a Williams, I think that is. And another Williams. Elisa Malfassi still out on track. They're going aggressive on the strategy. They're going long, really long in that first stint. And it's a big risk, but they have to. They have to take big risks because they have to win the race to win the championship or even have a chance. So yeah, P13 at the moment. That is realistically, I think, a P8 at the moment. If I'm looking at the mini-map correctly, but it's just still Joshi Dobu and Brendan Lee will box really early onto a set of the hards ahead of us. And that means we have to get past them, because that means then we would end up in P6, as you can see now, after Ismail Fassi is boxed and the rest of the grid. So let's see if we can make a move into turn 5. Joshi Dobu goes in the inside of Brendan Lee, and now we get the switch back and a nearly full battery as well. And that's crucial. You can see Joshi Dobu already flashing. Same for Brendan Lee. And that means they're below 10% battery. And that means this is going to be an easy pass for P6. We got Freddy behind us as well. Just trying to give him a little bit of slipstream. We're going to go wide here to make sure Fred has the space on the inside and gets that move done for P7 behind us. Yellow flag behind us as well. Not sure what happened there. Not relevant to us. Now we've got Jake Bannon, who boxed early as well. I think 2 laps earlier than us. So we have a tire advantage over him, but at this point it's not important anymore because we are safe by 1 position and all we need is P7 no matter what happens, and we need to keep that in mind. Obviously we're not sure exactly what battle Jake is fighting. They are still fighting for P2 in the constructors, and that means, you know, this position might be crucial for him. And we cannot be too aggressive to try and get past, because he's going to have to be aggressive to defend the P2 in the constructors or fight for the P2 in the constructors. I tried to go around the outside here, but I just couldn't quite find my way around there. And we have to settle for P6. Going to recharge the battery now again. And again, just trying to put some pressure on Drake. But yeah, those mediums are starting to fade now.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Yes, there's a crash behind us just before the hotel section. That's Ola Yildirim out of the race. And we're still trying to recharge our battery. You can see we're following Jake quite close, and that means we have the pace advantage. At the same time, you know, there's still 7 laps to go. There's a long way to go for us to make that move. We got Freddy down our inside, so I'm going to leave him space in order to help him in the battle with Longay. Now I need to try and give Freddy some slipstream, but I'm not interested in Freddy or Nicolas. I'm interested in Ismail Fassi right there. And now we're going to go defensive into the next chicane. We need to hold him up as much as possible. That's what we need to do. We do not want him to cut through this field easily. He has a huge tire advantage. And now we're going to go on the attack again. He's had to do a lot of overtakes. We've got quite a full battery for this point. And now we go down the inside. Ismail goes around the outside. Hits Freddy. And now we're back into P7. And that incident was crucial for our race, for our championship. Now we can instantly go back to battery saving. And yeah, just wait for another attack from Ismail Fassi in 1 or 2 or 3 laps. Now you might be wondering why did you let Nicolas Longay and Freddy Rasmussen go? And that's because I was starting to run a little bit low on battery. Let's not forget I went quite early into the pits relative to Longay and Fassi. Longay I'm not interested in. He can win the race. I think he boxed in the same lap as Ismail Fassi. So if we can hold up Fassi and then Longay can run away with this race, overtake as much people as he wants, and that way we just make it easier for ourselves. Into the next chicane we go. It's still Freddy ahead of Ismail Fassi. That might stay like this for at least the rest of the lap. I'm not sure. Of course, it all depends on the ERS levels as well. Fassi goes down the inside of Freddy. I was trying to help Freddy there. Ended up actually giving him some more dirty air. But now at the end of this one, 5 laps to go. As they're going side by side up ahead as well. We still got Thomas as well, of course, in this fight. But remember, he boxed early. And the 2 leaders, Alfie Butcher and Otis Lawrence, on fresher mediums. 1 or 2 laps makes a huge pace difference around here. Now Ismail Fassi sends it down the inside, pushes us wide. And he instantly gives the position back because he knew as well that would have probably been a penalty. You can see Thomas now fighting other cars, trying to stay in this race. Do not forget, he would have to overtake another 5 cars that are all a lot fresher tires than him. So yeah, he needs a miracle at this point to win this championship. And I knew that yeah, you can see there he's flashing on the battery as well, and that gives us a great opportunity into the next left hand. He's got front wing damage as well, as you can see on the front left hand plate. We're getting hit here on the edge of the track. Again, not a lot of space given on the apex there as well. And now we're going to go for another move into the next left-hander. We get squeezed all the way nearly off the track. And now we get the move done. Can't really send it there in the fast left-hander because the braking zone is too short. Now we can start recharging our battery again. However, you're about to see what's gonna happen here. And we get pushed off the track by a huge dive bomb. We now have to straight away focus again because the gap ahead is 1.1 seconds. No time to get angry here because we have to push to get into the DRS again. Even though we just had an incident, could have ended the race and championship. Because Ismail is on that fresher set of tires, we need to make sure we stayed ahead there. And yeah, we were lucky not to get taken out of the race completely there, of course. The physics of the game, I guess, helped me quite a bit there, because in real F1 that would have been race ending. And now we got 3 laps to go to become a 3-time F1 Esports World Champion. Ismail Fassi still behind us in P7, and that's what we need. We can drop this position in the next lap. I do not want to drop it, of course, as Ismail Fassi goes for a huge send down the inside. Little bit of contact, but he gets the move done. And obviously, we do not want to give him that position, so we're straight away going to go on the attack again. the slipstream. He goes defensive. You can see him flashing there, and that means he's below 10%, just like us. And now we might have to concede the position because we've run out of battery. We've run out of tires as well. And yeah, you can see Isma has he has no battery left as well. And with 2 laps to go, he's 1 second behind Nicolas Longuet. That means, yeah, he's not going to win this race anymore. Unless there's a huge power-up. But, yeah, that's not going to happen. There's actually an incident I had between Nicolas Longuet and Jake Benham, I think so. Again, they're fighting like hell for the constructors. And I was keeping that in mind with the car behind me, Daniel Bresnay as well. So I just made sure to recharge as much battery as possible for a last lap surge from him. So, yeah, again, at this point, it is nearly impossible to lose the championship, but I just wanted to stay focused and make sure to not make any mistakes. Just get at P7. Isma Fassi gets past Nicolas Longuet for P5. And again, even though Longuet has front wing damage, I'm not too interested at this point. I want to recharge my battery, and that's what we're gonna do. Danny Bresnay behind us obviously might be, you know, want to go aggressive in that last lap for P2 and the constructors. But he has front wing damage as well. Let's not forget that when we almost drove into the back of Joni Tormela, almost spun ourselves out because of almost the pile-up that happened in the chicane. That's the point where Danny Bresnay got front wing damage. And that is the point where, yeah, it was going to be a lot tougher for him to get a good result. Because 20 laps with front wing damage is a long, long way. Yeah, now we're just 1 lap away. Isma Fassi P5. And you can see there's quite big gaps from Barry Borman to the top 2 as well. So again, we're just gonna make sure we stay in P7. We're 1 lap away from becoming a 3-time F1 Esports World Champion. And what a season it's been. Felt like it slipped away many, many times. Nicolas Longuet goes wide ahead of us. Perhaps just making sure he stays ahead of us in this last lap. But again, we're not interested in the P6. We're only interested in this P7. Yeah, it felt many times like the championship slipped away. Obviously the opening round straight away going out in Q2. Winning the second race and then scoring 0 points in the third race. Also felt like the win in Jeddah, of course, got taken away. Many times where it felt like it slipped away. But we remained consistent. Finished 11 out of the 12 races in the points. We're in the top 7, top 6 for most of them. And won the most races out of everyone together with Barry Bormant, actually. And that's what made the difference. The consistency. Consistently being in the top 10 scoring points. Apart from that 1 time out, of course. And now we're only going to be 2 corners away from becoming a 3-time world champion. You can see how far I'm driving on the limit. They're still battling up front for P3. But we come across the line to become a 3-time world champion for the first time in F1 Esports history. And yeah, it has not been easy in these past few years. Obviously, we went from being one of the most dominant drivers ever in F1 Esports to, you know, struggling to get out of Q1 at times, struggling to get pole position. Of course, I still have not had a dry pole position in F1 Esports since 2021 Monza, I think so. But yeah, we never gave up. As I said last year, I'm gonna keep trying to become an F1 Esports World Champion again, and that's what we did. I just want to say a huge thank you as well for everyone that supported me the whole way through. Obviously, it's not normal in F1 Esports to be dominant, drop off, and then come back ever again. I think the average retirement age in F1 Esports is like 21. So I'm well past my prime. But yeah, we still managed to pull through. Again, next year, I'm very motivated once again. Especially now, I've proven to myself that I can still win the championship. Even now I'm getting a little bit older, even though I'm only 25. But yeah, I'm still very motivated for the coming years. Did I enjoy driving on this game? Absolutely not. But I enjoy the competition, and I'm gonna continue to enjoy the competition and the racing, because that's what I love. I love the racing. That's probably why I'm also a lot better in the race than in qualifying. But I enjoy it, and that's why I do this. So see you guys next year again for another year in F1 Esports. And now all focus goes on F1 25 at the end of May. Hope you guys enjoyed this season of F1 Esports. Make sure to like and subscribe for the F1 25 content that's going to be coming in around 1 month. In the meantime, I'm going to be uploading some other F1 24 content, probably some Assetto Corsa and some iRacing. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure to check out jarnoopmer.com for my merchandise, for my sim racing gloves. And see you guys next time. Ciao.